In this video, we're going to look at the difference between the multiple choice grid and the tick box grid questions. Now, these take a little bit of getting your head round, and I think the preview mode is really important here. So we're going to have a go, first of all, with the tick box grid. For the tick box grid, it will create rows and then a set of columns. So I can have as many columns as I want for each row, and because it's a tick box, they can select as many as they want. So just quickly, I'm going to put column 1, column 2, column 3, row 1, row 2, and I'm going to go up to a preview mode so you can see what that's starting to look like. So I've got a row, and then they can pick as many as you want from each column, or as few as you want from each column. So I'll go back to my forms. Now, the kind of question that will work here is, have you seen, or make it into which version have you seen? So I'll put Jungle Book, I'll put Beauty and the Beast, let's give them a capital letter, and then I will put Dumbo as well in for good measure. So column 1 is I'm going to have original animation, and then column 2 I'm going to put in is CGI, and I don't need a third column, CGI remake. So if I go to my preview now, I should have the 3 rows and then the options to pick. Here we go. I'm going to preview. Got my questions already done. So have you seen, which version have you seen? Jungle Book, have I seen the original animation and the CGI remake? I can click both of them. Might be worth adding another column there saying neither. If I was to demand a response from each row, I would have to put in an option of either, because otherwise people could get stuck. So I would put in. So that is a tick box grid question. Another option I have is the multiple choice grid. So that's down here near the tick box grid. It does exactly the same layout. I'll just do it with columns again so you can see what it's going to look like. So we've got 2 rows and 3 columns. We'll just go to preview. So unlike the checkbox multiple choice grid, this one, I can only pick 1 from each row. I can't have 2 or 3 things on there. So I need to think carefully about wording my question for this one. So I'm going to go back. I'm going to make this into have you seen ... and I'll have row 1, I'll say Toy Story. I'll say row 2, I'll say Tangled, and row 3, I'll say Cinderella. And column 1 can be yes, no, and no, but want to. Go up to and make sure that they have to answer a response in each row. So I'll go through my early questions, and I've now got my multiple choice grid questions where you've got to say Toy Story, have you seen Toy Story? Yes, no, no, but want to. I can only have 1 option per row, and because I put a no but want to, I've left options in there as well. So I've got to have an answer in every row, and I've now set it up so I've got the difference between the checkbox multiple choice and the straight up multiple choice in a grid. I can have as many rows or as many columns as I want. This is useful for getting lots and lots of information or answering lots and lots of facts at once. So this version of a question is probably a little bit more efficient than this one in terms of getting lots of data quickly. And those are the grid questions on Google Forms. I do think you do need to use the preview button as much as possible with that to really help get your head around how it's looking, because they can be a bit fiddly to do.